Welcome to Broad Solutions. Today is Tuesday and we will be working on a marketing initiative. The title of today's session is SEO, 6 must-haves to rank. How to execute basic search engine standards with 2025 principles to beat your competition in search rankings. This is applicable to anyone who has a website, whether you're selling products, whether you post your own blogs, or whether it's just a hobby project. People will need to find your website in some way, and they can't do that without going to a search engine. Obviously, they could type in your name directly, and that's if they know you, which is fantastic, but most everybody is going to go out to Google or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo, etc. So today we do talk about Google because they kind of have the industry standards as far as what they like to see and how things work. Most of the other search engines follow those standards. So we will reference Google, but I am really talking about every search engine, even including Bing. So I'm the founder of Broad Solutions. I'm a self-taught website programmer. I started in 2012. And we here are building a leading digital agency in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Alongside me in the back is Caitlin Burns, my marketing specialist, a Western Michigan graduate. She joined the team in 2024, and she is our digital marketing specialist. If you want to email us after today's event here, go ahead. Tanner at Broad Solutions and Caitlin at broadsolutions.com. Today the strategy is going to be to share the 2025 best practices for search engine ranking by focusing on 6 core principles. Our focus is going to be on the website, which is the medium here. So we're only talking about websites, and that's the home of your blogs, your products, your pages, and anything else that you post online. The stuff is the content you actually write about, which are your topics of choice. And thirdly here, we talk about the readers, who are the people who actually be consuming your content that you're putting out to the public. And we want to make sure that it's shareable and that we can share it with those people here. So it's written, but how should we actually share it? So we'll get right into it. The 6 must-haves, the 2025 SEO checklist to compete in the rankings. So I've been doing this for 12 years, and these are tried and true methods that show up since I've been doing this. And the number one thing is your website has to be indexable, which means a search crawler can actually go out to it and find what information it needs to put it in the search engine ranking. The second one here is authentic content, and you can see here that I've colorized the 3 things that we are focused on here: website, content, and sharing. So number 2 is in the content arena, and the most important thing here is to write authentic content, which is a large 2025 push with all of the AI generation things going on right now. Number 3, great titles. Those are your attention-seeking headlines that people are enticed to click on and why they would choose you over somebody else. The amazing description is what you can read underneath of the title on a search engine ranking that really hones in a short form of why you would click here and what you're doing. The number 5, domain authority, again references a website and how your website stands up against other websites and its authority in whether it's your domain or your content or how well you write or how many people come to it. And then number 6, a very large thing that gets overlooked a lot often is, okay, I've written it, I'm ranking, it can be found, but it needs to be shareable by people who either do find it, or you need to be able to share it and push it out to the crowd so that they can find it. Outside of the search engine, however, the crawlers do know how often people come and visit your website, so it is important to make sure that number 1, you're getting traffic. It helps show that you're an authority on the subject. but they who visit can also go out and share it, which really helps bring people to your website. Typically, we'll have people here in session. We are open to people coming in and signing up for a late Tuesday afternoon to converse with me. So today I'm going to be speeding through this. There's no one here to ask a question, but once we get to the questions and answers thing, I'll cover a few questions that my clients typically have on these subjects. So diving right into it, number one, we have your website, and we're focused on indexability. So this is a page's ability to be indexed by search engines. Only indexed pages can actually show up in search engines. So there's a file called a robots.txt, and that file is either allowing search engines to come and crawl your website, or it's disallowing. And so that's the number one thing that you have to check immediately. You're either going to be on the search or you're not at all, and that's a very obvious first place to check. If you're really having issues with not showing up at all, you're probably disallowing crawlers to come and look at it. There's all sorts of different rules and things that you can write in there. If you want them to not go to admin pages or under development pages, you could hide those specifically, but in all honesty, you want to allow the search engine to surface all of your site if that's the type of site you're building. The second most important thing is submitting a sitemap. We like to check on it monthly to make sure that Google is looking at the sitemap, which is a XML document that's automatically generated by WordPress and Shopify and BigCommerce and things like that. They're very easy to find on your website if you just Google it on how to find out your link specifically. But you put this on Google Search Console, which I'll show here in a minute, of every page that's you already created, products and blogs and pages and homepage and cart and checkout, etc. It will know, and you're telling Google Search Console in this case what pages you actually want it to look at specifically. Otherwise, you're left to let them discover your website in a different way, which isn't that useful, but it's a free tool. So we like to check on that monthly to make sure it's being it's submitted correctly and it's being discovered. And then there's also a report that comes with indexability that's telling you whether or not there's issues with pages, whether they can be indexed or can't be indexed, and there's a myriad of different things that can come from that. So here I'm showing a Google Search Console tool, which again is free. You do have to have a Google account. And when you create your property, as in broadsolutions.com here, you are telling Google, this is a website that I want to monitor, and in the indexing subcategory here, there's a spot called sitemaps, and you can see from the sitemap listing here in https broadsolutions.com /sitemap.xml. Most of these will be .xml. Was submitted to Google on April 11th and last read on April 11th. It was successful and it discovered 69 pages. So in essence, what I'm doing here is adding it specifically saying, I have a website, I want you to crawl it. It has 69 links, pages, etc. And it's going to report back pretty fast, if not in 24 hours, that it did go out and find it. It looked through all of the pages, and here are 69 pages. The other key things to focus on here, which I don't have a screenshot of, but it's only accessible after you submit the sitemap, are the pages that it's being indexed. So it'll show the 69 rows of the pages and the URLs and whether or not those were good or bad or something's going on. The other part of it is going to be demonstrating whether the robots is actually working. And so another nice feature about this is if you're worried about one specific page, you can always put it in the search window up here at the very top, broadsolutions.com/contact. and it will go out to that and tell you everything about that specific page and if there's something wrong. So the number one thing, the most important, is making sure that it can be crawled and indexed, and that will kick you off on this whole journey. You'll see in the top right hand side of this presentation, which will be downloadable, that you can click on these links and it will bring you to where I'm talking about as a source. Up next, number 2, authentic content. The link I have here is Google Core Update, November of 2024. That wasn't necessarily the last update, but it was a major update that very much attacked authentic content. And what we mean by authentic content is that it's humanized. So I'm saying here, be human, write for humans. So you want to be original in your content, which would be, copy on the page, titles, descriptions, photography, graphics, and anything content is consider all of that. Anything you put on the website. And so you want to be original. You want to solve real needs from people. And you want to write about things that you've experienced so that you can be, an authority on it. You can be trustworthy. You can show expertise and experience. And so the Google Core Update, which Caitlin and Sarah on my team here have explained to either potential clients or existing clients, that Google specifically is attacking and trying to de-rank generic, unoriginal, AI-generated stock product descriptions and copying other people's content. In that scenario, it's a monster change when you look at analytics as far as where you're ranking. So whether it was the actual rank position of the search, so 1 through 3 is the most important. But we were seeing a lot of people come to us and say, hey Tanner, hey Broad Solutions, we really got hit hard in 2024 and something happened, I don't know what. And this is immediately where our minds go. And when we go out and look at their site, typically we see people who are using, they're doing drop ship for their e-commerce website. They consume a catalog that has a ton of products. These products come with descriptions already. And basically it's just a very large dump of a huge catalog. And these descriptions, the titles, the specifications for products and everything just get immediately dumped into the website, and then they just sit there, and while it seems time consuming to change those things, or maybe you're not an authority and you don't know what to write, and you have something that's exactly the way that it was written for another website and they're consuming the same catalog, you start to become not authentic on the subject, and you'll start to get de-ranked. And in that scenario, if we have a product like a tennis ball, for example, and 30 other people have that same tennis ball, obviously you're going to compete on price and you're going to try to position yourself there. But if you're keeping the same description, the same title as everybody else, you're going to compete on that 1 through 30 list, and you're just not really going to be ranked really well. Versus someone who actually took the time, maybe they took an image of their dog fetching that tennis ball, they wrote about their dog using the tennis ball. We have reviews about things that have to do with that product. Those people are going to start being ranked a lot higher. I do have a example in my life when I floated down the Mississippi River. We blogged about it on barrelraftboys.com. So it's linked here in case anyone wants to visit that. And so my friend and I wrote a blog as we floated down the Mississippi River for 2 months. So we had an experience. We built expertise by creating a homemade barrel raft. We also wrote about how to build that barrel raft. we were an authority on the subject by writing about our journey along the way and taking photography. As you can see here, we have an image that we took from the river. We have a title that's custom to us. We tagged it properly, we dated it, etc. And this is a trustworthy source because Tanner, Rob, and Scully, who is the dog in this image here, actually went through this experience and wrote from the river, and we met people along the way who would comment on a post. So we know this is in Louisiana here, and we met up with some people, and they left us some comments on that post. And so this is an example, probably extreme example, of how authentic someone could be online, and you're just not going to find this content anywhere else, and it's going to immediately go up in the rankings. So if somebody is looking to barrel raft down the Mississippi River, Rob and I carved that niche out. This blog's been ranking since 2014, and people can find the journey along the way. They can go to the guide and get advice and see the barrel raft build, the plan that we had, etc. Getting back into it, number 3 here, writing great titles. So the title in the search engine result is the blue section here. And I took a screenshot of, obviously, Broad Solutions, the company here, of how we write titles. So there are a couple different ways, but you can have up to 60 characters that show. You want to be emphasizing keywords that have to do with your industry, and you want to be accurate to what people are searching, but also what page they're going to be landing on. So here we have on our home page, just the stock URL, Broad Solutions, a leading digital marketing agency. So I fit in the number of characters that I needed. I identified the brand because this is a homepage. The tagline is also included in a short form, and it has all of the keywords that I need. It's not comma separated. I didn't leave it blank, and I'm not fooling anyone about what they're about to get here. Going down, we have a blog post, which I believe Caitlin wrote, and it says, "Unleash the power of SEO with Broad Solutions." And so in this format here, you're looking for something specific, whether it's SEO, what does Broad Solutions do for SEO? Unleash the power is something enticing. I think it works really well for this. The other example shown at the bottom, we have an offer called SEO Boost, and so that's a very specific product name, and we were able to we wanted to just say SEO Boost so that we weren't adding too much extra here to try to fluff anything else. We really wanted people to look at the product description. So 3 different ways you can do this: brand name, tagline, blog title all the way across. A lot of blog titles do get very lengthy, so they will get cut off with the ... And then products typically are like, yes, this is the exact product. And so we don't have physical products, but if we did, typically you would just say the product name, and that's what people are searching for. Some other examples here that I kind of had fun with when I was playing around of how to be catchy and unique, and I'll reference these later in step 4 as well, but how the "do I get your attention" would be a good a good title for people to be enticed and want to click on. Where I went wrong, killing my 12th sourdough starter. It's lengthy, but as it renders on the page here, it'll go killing my, and then 12th, and then go ... and you're kind of enticed to know what they're talking about. Up here at the top right, my secret fishing spots in Kalamazoo. a very unique title that someone will say, ooh, that's enticing, I'd like to click on that. And then I'm a dad and I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. And so these are my 9 hacks to get a baby to fall asleep. A very useful thing for a parent to find and look up and see what people are doing to help get some sleep in their household. I think the most important thing here is to be authentic and have fun with it. Again, you want keyword emphasis, but you don't want to make it keyword separated. And you want to be accurate to what you're actually about to talk about. Moving on to number 4, the meta description is the subtext here underneath of the title, and everyone probably understands what this is, but you want up to 160 characters, still the standard today in 2025 as it has been since 2012. The keyword emphasis again is super important. Not comma separated, the whole thing. It's not readable, it doesn't make any sense. And again, you want to be accurate to the search and the page. So we have Broad Solutions, a leading digital marketing agency, your trusted partner for handcrafting unbeatable websites and web applications for your business. So websites is in there, web applications is in there, trusted partners in there. Digital marketing agency is what it is, and it's already been described, but I'm following up with a very nice, unique and specific to what I'm trying to tell you, that we're trusted partners, we're handcrafting unbeatable websites and web applications for business people. The other example here, contact Broad Solutions. We want to discover how to solve your e-commerce design, development, and strategy problems. Book a discovery call. In this scenario, we have comma separated the 3 things here: e-commerce design, development, strategy problems, as things that we know people search for. We also want them to contact us, so we have a specific language at the end, a call to action, if you will, to book a discovery call. So they're going to know what they're doing prior to clicking on this link. They're going to contact us and they're going to book a discovery call because they want to solve their either design, development, or strategy problem. Last, about Broad Solutions, driven by creativity, focused on ... Nice leading meta title, but we know what we're about to get into before we click on it, because we're saying we are a digital marketing agency with 12 years of website experience, making Broad Solutions a leading creative firm that prides itself on creativity. And then it leads on to what else you want to read about. So we want people to read about us, leaving the extraness. While it might be too long for what Google wants, we know it is also enticing for someone to want to click on. And so the bad practices on meta descriptions are leaving it blank. We see those very often. That's doing nothing. Those are quick wins for everybody. There hasn't been a time in my history when I've seen anything comma separated keywords really work out. And what I mean by that is like the whole thing has commas after it for you just to try to stuff in keywords. That gets deranked really quickly. And you never want to fool people into getting clicks here. So you don't want to talk about tennis balls and you land on bowling balls. Silly example, but if you remember, I had a few titles, and these would be the descriptions underneath them. I didn't carry them over, but how do I get attention? The title, the description here that I've given it and thought up authentically. Are you getting overlooked for every job interview? I'll teach you how to get the attention you deserve. So a hook with an action. So yes, maybe I fit that criteria. I'll teach you how to get the attention you deserve, and you are enticed to want to click on it. So you need to write something that's amazing and catchy and authentic in you. The fishing spot in Kalamazoo title, for example, my family has fished for generations on lakes around Kalamazoo. Now I'm breaking my family secrecy. Shh. And hopefully that, is going to rank better than the guy who's just saying, I have a fishing spot and it's over here, or I like to go to these specific lakes. People are wanting to enjoy things that they read and know that they're getting information that maybe someone else can't have. The sourdough starter one in this greenish blue box here at the bottom. So they were killing their 12th sourdough starter, something my wife, she does sourdough as well, and yes, it does die on occasion. And people in this realm do name their sourdoughs, but why can't I be like the others? So a lot of people are doing this right now, raising sourdough. My sourdough, Lisa, named, shouldn't die, right? After 12 tries, I found the solution. So this person who has Googled, keep killing my sourdough, they see the tagline, they read this description, it's catchy, it's funny, it's different, it's written by someone who has that actual experience, and they click on it because they're looking for that solution. And then in reference to the 9 hacks to get your child to fall asleep, the description here would be bedtime routine that worked for all of my children so the family could finally sleep peacefully. So I'm acknowledging that I've had this experience before. I'm an expert because I've used it on all of my children. And the reason why you would even want to know this information is because, I'm looking to sleep peacefully as well. So anyone that has kids know that you get very tired as a parent, and you just wish they would go to sleep. Number 5 on the 6 must-haves to rank. Domain authority. So there's a hidden competition out there to push the older websites and better websites to the top of the list. And there is a domain rank, which would be a number assigned to your website. And so, sites that everyone visits, Amazon, Twitter, Google, Apple, etc., they're all ranked very, very high in this domain rank. So if they write about a subject that makes sense for their business, the domain authority of that actual website will have a lot easier time getting to the top of the list. Mainly because people have already vetted it and already been there. The other thing is the age of the website is super, super important, as far as the search engine knows that they've been around for a while, they've been writing about these topics for a while, and it's a trust factor. And so to go into the 3 buckets down here, there's very high competition for the share of the ranks and the top 3 things that people are clicking on. And the majority of the pie is taken by the people that rank very high, which is the reason most people are coming to these sessions or wanting to learn this information, use someone else to help them rank better, is because it's super, super hard to beat out the top competition. There's a keyword difficulty issue as well. So someone who's already hitting on a lot of things very rarely gets deranked, and these positions that you want to be in are the 1 through 3 positions. And so there's stats that come out all over the place, but in essence, the top traffic is only clicking through the first 3 results. They've already found what they needed. People are lazy, they don't want to scroll down and look for anything else. The domain name is also very important. So most people have already picked their domain name, whether it's their business name or new store. But being exact in the name is going to really, really help become an authority on the subject, because the name won't change at all as far as the .com, .co, .org, etc. So if you're wanting to rank for keyword.com, would be the number one domain name to have here. And then when you bought it is also important. So the older the website, the more authority it has, and then there's prowess behind it. Everyone knows Twitter. A lot of people visit Twitter. It's not going to go anywhere. If they write about a subject, it works very well. I referenced with my team earlier today about Reddit. Reddit is now showing up at the top of the results for a lot of things that people are searching that are very lengthy, questions about things, reviews about products or restaurants, etc. And so reddit.com has a lot of prowess. They're known for having a lot of authority. They have a lot of people on there. They've been around a long time, and they're very good at answering questions. So in this scenario, we want to say, well, how do we compete with Reddit? How do we compete with Twitter? Or how do we compete with Apple or Amazon, etc.? They have the volume. They have more pages than you and I could create. They have more backlinks already that we would wish to achieve in a lifetime. And they have comments and reviews and feedback on a lot of things here. And so it's not to be negative and say you can't do it, because I think you actually can. And so the question that we hear a lot, obviously I wrote it a little longer here, but how do I compete with the giants in the industry that rank better, that have better rankings and resources? And so what we like to do is find a niche, attack the perimeter, and be fresh. So the niche in this opportunity here is the competition. So the niche that, I sell regular tennis balls. I'm going to compete against all the high-end people who sell tennis balls. I want to find a niche. So like, what is this tennis ball for? This tennis ball is for yellow labs. This tennis ball is for pools, and we use it as a game in the pool that I've invented. And I'm coming up with this off the top of my head here, but you want to find stuff that people haven't talked about before. And so you want to tag people on the low difficulty keywords. So you do have to use a SEO tool to find keyword difficulty primarily. You can look at Google Trends as far as an opportunity to see what's trending. The most important thing is to find where the competition is not, and so that you can own these top 3 spots. So if I created a new website, myniche.com, and I want to talk about something very specific and it's new, and I want to become known, I'm going to start writing about things that I can easily get to the top on, so people can start to click on it and start to come to the website. And I want to share fresh ideas and things that people have yet to target. And ideally, once you kind of achieve this top 3 spot thing on these keywords that are very specific, they fit your domain name, your content is about that, and people are actually liking it, it's very hard to get D-ranked and move down the list if someone else new comes in. So you're kind of filling these spots, and so I'm saying attack the perimeter as far as like, you can't just go straight for the center. You want to get these things on the outside, and you want to have it, you want to really take the opportunities when they come along. So in essence, SEO is a long-term game, which people know. They don't understand why necessarily, and why is because it takes so much effort to look up keywords and to watch the rankings and to write new content and to make it shareable and get feedback and climb the ladder into these positions. But once you're there, you get the fruits of your labor, because now people recognize you as the authority, and you can start to carve out your niche, and people will understand who you are. And so really it's a volume game. You want to create fresh ideas often. You want to share it. You want to make sure that people come and visit it. And you also want to get feedback. So people will tell you what they want to hear, and ultimately you're writing for another person. So you want to listen to them, and whether it's a comment at the bottom or a review, or you ask them to call you personally, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're writing about what people care about. And the last, number 6 must have is shareability. And you'll want to be cross-posting to external websites, whether that's a social media, forum, blog, tons of opportunities here. And you'll also want to have a link building strategy. So whether that's internal linking, you wrote one blog, but you wanted to follow on to the next blog to stay on your website. That's important. If you wrote a blog and you're trying to sell a product, you want to make sure that you link that product inside of the blog so that people can stay on your website. It also helps the indexability because Google will come in and surf all of those internal links, and whether they lead outside or inside, it just builds that equity circle of like, yes, this makes sense and I'm going to follow on over here. It will fill the gaps in pages and indexability and really be helpful. I reference QR codes here, and that's mainly saying like, I put out a flyer because I want people to attend this event. And so I make a QR code so that they can actually get to that link instantly. And so while that isn't a search engine specific search, it's showing that people are coming to the website. And so it's a nice link to have. It showed that it moved through the system. The other way to do this link building strategy is to find what's now called influencers, but basically anybody who's out there, perhaps they're an authority on the subject, and you want them to share the link to your new piece of content or your product, etc. So that could be an affiliate who's selling your product. That could be someone who wants to just share your blog because they're in the same realm as you, anything like that. And so on the shareability front, not only on-site, on your website, do you want to be able to show that people actually interact with what you're sharing. That could be a comment on a blog post. It could be a review on a product. But you want to allow your readers to interact with your content, which is ultimately going to give you free keywords and authority on the subject. It fits with the authentic nature of things that go on. And I'll tell you from experience with clients who are selling products, for example, a lot of them that have no reviews, those pages just don't rank. It's hard to write your own product description. It's hard to be authentic and create something new and build this equity on this page. You see 0 reviews, and it's shown literally everywhere in search that there's no reviews on this product. So not many people are clicking out in the first place. But then they're also losing the credibility of yielding more authority because people just don't gravitate towards that. And the obvious example you could use is a recipe. So you're looking up a recipe for tonight's dinner, and how many recipes, could you get for like one thing? Thousands, I'm sure, right? You're going to go off of the review system and what people are talking about and how well they rate it. And so that's a huge rank factor that is super simple to implement on your own website, to open up reviews, let people reply. Sure, sometimes you have to manage it and make sure that the garbage doesn't come in, but what I'm showing here is that on Barrel Raft Boys, on a specific blog, we got 48 replies to the blog and 2 retweets and 39 social shares on Facebook, which is fantastic. So it's a real nice big spider effect of making sure that it's indexable. So while we think of Google as a search engine, and this is what this conversation is about, and it's all about typing in random keywords, search could also be, hey, I saw my friend share this thing. Now I want to find Barrel Raft Boys again, or I want to go through this system, but it all builds that equity. And so offering the ability also on page, on website, to have quick share buttons, which allows someone who's visited the page to post to their favorite platform, whether they're on Pinterest or LinkedIn, they want to send it via email, Tumblr, what have you. These are quick links that say, hey, Barrel Raft Boys just wrote a blog. I want you to read about it. I'm also sharing it. I want to help them out. The shareability side is interesting. There's different formats of how you write your website and how it's behind the scenes, mind you, but you can use tools like Yoast SEO, or sometimes most themes and platforms come with this built in. But effectively, at the end of the day, the share links, and if you're sharing it yourself, you're taking the link, you're posting it on social media, and it takes a couple seconds, but it'll go out and fetch that information from your website and put it on in a shareable card, or this is Open Graph on Meta that I'm showing here on the right hand side, where it's dynamically pulling in the image, it's pulling in the title, it's pulling in the description, it has a link to the URL already, and it's technically has a type, which in this case is an article. And so it knows what to share and how to share it, and this saves a lot of time. Caitlin would know, it saves a lot of time versus having to authentically type everything in yourself, go find the picture, etc. It's much cleaner, and now you can start to write about it in your own way right above this link here. So I did share a URL in the top right here, opengraph.xyz, and effectively you paste in your link and it runs through Meta, X, LinkedIn, Discord. It renders it on the right hand side and shows you if your website works for being shareable. And you can type in any link to any part of your website. If you ever need that fixed, it is found in the head of your website, which typically not many people will edit just the HTML of the website. However, using a plugin, Yoast SEO for WordPress is probably the most popular one, but other apps and other things can help make these things shareable for your team. So the takeaways from the top 6, use tools to index and crawl your website. Google Search Console is the easiest one to use. There's also Microsoft and third-party places that can do this as well. I want to stress authentic content. That's something that's a direct attack on AI-generated content and being generic, soulless, etc. You really want to write from what you know. Having unique titles and descriptions is going to catch people and make them want to actually click what you're doing, and as the more they click, the quicker you get up in the rankings. And then on the competition side of things, you really want to find your niche. The authority of your domain comes from you having a good rank, but also being known in the industry for this type of stuff. So Barrel Raft Boys is a great example. I don't think many people are out there. I haven't searched in a while, but I highly doubt it. We've kind of carved out our own sliver there, and you know, it's been running for 10 years, so it's going to be hard to derank those. Then you want to make it, the last takeaway here is make it easy to share. It's important, so on-page people who have already come here, share it out externally, and then vice versa, people who are coming in from those links want to comment and help you out and share either their expertise or their review, etc., and have a conversation with you, which is all very, very helpful. So this would be the questions and answer portion of our sessions here. No one's attended today. I'll open it up to Caitlin to see if she has any questions. Maybe she can kick me off. No questions. She does this for a living. It's it's late on a Tuesday and she's worked all day doing it, so she doesn't have any questions. I will think of probably 2 things that people most ask about is, you know, what is a, I hear about Google Core updates, what does that actually mean? And so I was just explaining it to a different person on my team who does website development. that Google, being the authority that they are on search engines, have reorganized how they're actually indexing websites, how they want to rank things, and they basically write algorithms that go out and say, okay, Caitlin's website makes more sense for this term versus Tanner's website that makes more sense for this term. And it changes over time. So when we look at a chart of how well your website is doing, if we see large downfalls or big increases from outside things that we didn't do internally, we see this, we scroll over and we see that there is a Google core update, and you hover over this little tile and it says that Google has made a change to how their search engine is working, and they give you a very, very brief statement about what that means. And so they're very hidden about this. It's a secret, effectively. It's happening more often than it ever has. The scramble that takes place with clients who have livelihoods that matter on keywords is pretty crazy. So our team looks into these core updates immediately, tries to figure out what they're doing. We watch videos about what other people have done to effectively mitigate these changes that just are core changes to how things happen. Probably the last question I'll cover here is, I would say more of a question, but probably kind of a comment. It's like, why should I invest time into writing something that's already been written? And mainly it's because things, when they become stagnant, they start to just very slowly fall. In regards to rankings, for example, you were a domain authority, you kind of hit cruise control. I've been at number 1, I'm fine, and you're not looking at it, you're not paying attention. Goes to number 2, goes to number 3, and the search volume goes down. And you don't notice these things until either in a blog your comments go down, or it doesn't make. You're not getting as many signups. The product-based e-commerce websites start to notice a slump in sales. Not as many people are coming to you. So it's important to not get fatigued and just say, oh, well, I'm already ranking and I don't need to do anything. It's important to monitor what's going on. It's also important to not be static. So keeping the same exact description for years needs to be refreshed, it needs to be modernized, it needs to be looked at. So here at Broad Solutions, we do that for clients. We give them a fresh outlook on things, a fresh take on what they're doing and why they're writing it, and really try to stress that it's important to change this. And the value impact of that is rather large. It's not quantifiable exactly, but it's a cumulative process of doing it month after month and starting to see these things start to move again and rise again, and it just takes constant effort. So we do have more sessions at Broad Solutions on Tuesdays in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and you can register on Facebook events, or just contact Tanner or Caitlin at Broad Solutions if you want to sign up. So we've already done a April 8th session, build a web app in 2 hours for our development sector. The one today, 6 must-haves to rank for SEO, was about marketing. And the upcoming one, we're going to focus on e-commerce design principles to help you sell. And that's in our design service. And in that one, we will be looking specifically at websites and things that are really catered towards conversion rate optimization. And so that's on April 22nd. And then these are the other upcoming sessions, and one of the things that I want to focus on while I try to build a community here is the actual agency that I run. I run a digital agency in Kalamazoo, and I'd like to find people with digital skills and wrapping it into 2025. Like, this is where we're at today. This is what people should be focusing on, etc. I would like to share where I kind of see the industry going and where it's at today. May 13th, improve a web app in 2 hours. That's session 2 of the first one that I already went through. Improving that web app that I've already worked on. May 20th, ad setup and your first campaign. So that's pay-per-click advertising. And May 27th, why user experience is everything. Going back to design and talking about UX, which is the user experience and what they actually do on the website. So it's good timing. Done now. Thank you. We're connecting people with solutions. Workshop title, working on it, but that's it.